Hey guys, it's Kat from Parkour YourCity. I'm so excited to show you what I've been doing. I'm interviewing these amazing people all around the world, and they're gonna tell you why you should start doing parkour. Unbelievable. So please watch my interviews. Jaydin Therrien with us tonight. Hi Jaydin.
Hi,
How
glad to
are
be here.
you?
Good.
Yeah,
I'm really good. How are you?
yeah, I'm good.
Good.
So you're from Ontario, Canada, and you are very well known about some scary videos you make about that killer clown that had like 3.7 million views. That's
Yeah.
like incredible.
Yep. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really expecting that. I went out one day and it was Halloween, so I went out to record it and posted it. Didn't really think a whole lot of it. And then as the months went on, it was like 1,000 views and that was crazy. And then another and then another. And then it just went like crazy over the 6 months or so. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's for my channel normally 100 views was a big thing, but then I posted that and 100 views became not really a whole lot.
Yeah, millions views. Wow, so now you get paid for that, right?
Yep, yeah, it's now I make about what I spend, so it's good that it's not costing me anything anymore, so it equals out, which is good.
Wow, that's so nice. Good job.
Yeah,
How
thank
did
you.
you come up with that idea about like that clown, killer clown or whatever?
Well, I didn't come up with it on my own. Actually, the movie with the clown It, that
Mm.
was just coming out. I think it was the first one actually, or maybe the second one. But either way, that was just coming out, so I wanted to kind of make a video, parkour, Halloween, and then with the movie coming out, I thought it would be a good opportunity to work on that.
That's cool. Do you
Hmm.
edit your own videos or like someone else do it for you, some friend
Yeah,
or
I do all the editing and camera work, all that stuff. It's all me.
Wow. And what do you prefer? Because I've noticed you have this camera in your mouth and
Hmm.
sometimes you have like the normal filming or
Yeah.
like what do
Um,
you prefer or
For normally, I would say I do prefer the third person recording. Um,
uh-huh.
it is nice sometimes to just have it in your mouth and then go on and do whatever, but I find you have to worry about it a lot more when it's in your mouth. You just gotta kind of check over the footage, make sure that it didn't move or something like that, or
Mm.
something on the lens, right? But if somebody's recording you, then at least you always know what's going on. The only problem then is can they catch up to you?
When and how did you discover parkour?
Well, it was actually kind of unexpected. I was back in Hamilton. I used to live in Hamilton, and late 2016, I'd say, I was scrolling through YouTube, just watching videos, stuff like that, and then sure enough, I come across a parkour video, but I didn't know what that was at the time. It was by Ronnie Ronnie
Mm.
Street Stunts. It was one of his videos. He posted some sort of themed video, um, something like that, and I was just watching it and I was super interested and I couldn't believe what he was doing. I was like, wow, I didn't realize that this was actually even a thing that people did. So I was watching that, and then of course it snowballed to watching that to more, and then tutorials, and then what to wear. Just I researched every single thing you could possibly imagine on it, and that night I drew up this whole little plan for myself of how I was going to start doing it with the parkour rolls. So I started training that, and I actually hurt my shoulder quite a bit because I was not good at it, and it snowballed from there basically.
Wow, and you taught to yourself or you took like some classes or
All yeah, just watching YouTube videos, I kind of taught myself. Yeah,
wow. Wow, so you've been self-taught for 4 years.
yeah, Yeah, I
about?
do take gymnastics classes, but that's not parkour. Just basically for me to be safer. If I want to learn some variations of flips and stuff, then I'll go to the gym.
Mm. Oh, wow. Yeah, because
Hmm.
parkour is not about flips at the beginning, like the basic of it. But then some people
Exactly.
started to do tricking, like flips and
Hmm.
like kind of
Yeah,
gymnastics.
actually, yeah. I really wasn't into the flips at first. I actually kind of detested it. I was like, that's not really parkour. I don't want to learn that.
Mm.
But as you start doing parkour, you get more confident, right? You get better at it, and then you start to dip your toes in the water and learn some more.
Yeah, I saw you have a nice tutorial on backflips. I'm gonna do it because I just did my first front flip, but on the trampoline.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
So now I should do the backflip, you know? I feel
for
like, wow,
sure.
if I'm able to do the front flip, I should be able to do the backflip. Is
Oh,
it
yeah,
more
100%.
difficult or it's similar, right?
The the back flip is so much more easier than the front flip. It just, for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason, it's such a mental barrier. The front flip, you kind of, when you go to do it, you basically want to go into like the ground. That's just kind of like your first thing. But with the back flip, it's much easier not to go into the ground. It just works out so much better. It's
Mm.
For me, it took a while to learn, of course. It took like a year or so. I wasn't afraid of it. I got over the fear pretty quick, but the technique was tricky. It's a lot of people though, once you get over it the first time, that's it. You can do it.
Wow. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
What do you like about parkour?
Um, well, there's a lot that I really like about parkour. Physical, mental, emotional, I guess you could even say. So the thing that really drew me to it at first was the way it looked, just being able to climb up a building or scale something or get across something really quickly. It just that drew me to it so much. Just looking really cool to everybody, of course. That's what initially got me into it. But now it's like I'm in my element when I'm training it. You know, I get into the motion, I start doing one thing, and then it's just I my head just completely zones in, and then I forget about everything else. And that's what I love about it really is it takes me away from everything. It makes me feel like I can do anything, which I really like.
Wow. That's so cool. It's something that a lot of people I interviewed say, which is kind of interesting, you know?
Okay.
I found, yeah, I found parkour is so basic. It's basically movements that you will do when you're very young, when you go to the playground, you know?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
we stop doing these and then we get fat or old or lazy or whatever,
Yeah.
not in shape, you know, not in shape at all.
Yeah.
And then
We just
that's what
lose
I
the
tell all.
childishness.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then I tell all my students, you know, after you start doing parkour, even after just 2 weeks, like 2 or 3 classes a week, you know, they see a
Hmm.
difference and like they start
Oh
playing with
wow.
their kids at the playground. You know, they're like,
Oh, that's
oh, now I
awesome.
climb. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
now I climb rocks. Now I see my environment so different. You know,
Hmm. That's
which
just it.
which
Yeah.
is wild of parkour.
It just opens up a whole new vision to seeing. I guess that's another thing, right? You look at something and you see it completely differently as to how you would before. Just, yeah.
That's so great. Why do you think people should start doing parkour?
Well, we to start off, I would say there's lots of like little benefits to it. Like or little or great depending on who you are, but for me it was a big confidence booster and self-esteem booster. I would say I was relatively quiet in high school, and then once I started getting into parkour, I was more outgoing. I wanted to talk to more people and just kind of like show off, I guess you could say, but that was never me before. I was kind of always a little bit like put back, didn't want to draw attention to myself for sure. But it's just a whole lot of self-esteem boost, confidence boost, your balance, for instance. Um, if I don't fall anymore, I guess you could say. Like, for instance, normally I'd be a little bit more clumsy, right? But now I barely ever fall. It's always intentional too, um, if I do. Um, Another thing you could say is well, an example, I guess I could say. So
Uh-huh.
I was at the park training one day, and then my friends came up, of course, and then I was just doing that, and then they noticed that there's a ball up on the roof, and then they were talking about how they wanted to go get it, go around to the other side of the building, climb up on a dumpster, um, get on, and then get on the roof that way. I said, or I could just grab it right now. And then they said, well, yeah, we could go around the dumpster and get it. I said, I'll just go get it. Just watch me for a second. And then I ran up the wall and just got up onto the roof, hopped down and gave it to them. And they couldn't believe what I just did, even though they've seen my videos and stuff. But once you're in person and see it, it's a whole other, it's a whole other thing to really believe in after that.
It's true. It's much better in person. I mean, even in
Hmm.
videos, it looks like nice and scary and whatever, but yeah, it's more
Yeah.
impressive because you're there. It's like, yeah,
You don't, yeah,
wow,
the
good job.
scale of it, you don't truly understand until you're right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
There is something that I learned about parkour that a bit like you said, I mean, you've helped these guys to get their ball, you know,
Hmm.
but what I tell people is like, if something happened, like an emergency
Yeah.
situation, you know, in life, like your kids fall off or is going to fall or someone is going to be hit by a car or thing, like people who do
Hmm.
parkour are more faster and they can really like help others and they can
Yeah.
really give back to the society.
Yeah, that really, yeah. So you're quick thinking for sure. I think because when you're doing parkour, you want to be able to connect one thing to the next thing and already be like 2 steps ahead. And if you get into a dangerous situation or you need to help somebody out, for instance, you can you can already visualize what you got to do to get out of there and the safest route to to save them or yourself or whatever situation really. You're a whole lot more safer and confident in that aspect.
Yeah, and it's more straight, you know, it's A to B. You don't do like this, like you said, like this big
Yeah,
round, like I'm gonna go to the back and then you're late. It's too late. The incident happened or something.
exactly. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
cool. Like people just for that, they should do parkour. Like I found out it's so
Oh, for
global.
sure.
Like it's a big like a fitness thing, but at the same time, it's not just physical, right?
Hmm. Yeah. It's a lot of what holds us back in life is actually mental, and then I think parkour blends the physical challenge and the mental challenge. As you achieve more, your mind begins to open up and be able to do more things.
Awesome. What is the biggest accomplishment you had or you did in parkour?
Yeah. Um, my biggest accomplishment, it's kind of a funny question, because the way I see things, like I always set goals for myself, of course, and then you inch your way to it, you inch your way to it. It seems impossible at first, but as you slowly get there and get there, it starts to seem more, it seems to like less of a goal or an accomplishment at the end once you achieve it. Like the backflip for me, that was one of the biggest things probably, getting to that because it took me probably about a year of just getting over it and learning the technique to it. Um, but once you get over it, that so probably that. But my point, I guess, of what I'm trying to say is that as you get better with it, it becomes less of a challenge. So it doesn't seem like as much of an accomplishment. Um, my most recent one would probably be the palm flip, where you go up to a wall, you put both your hands on it, and then you jump and backflip. So like a Kong vault.
What would you like to achieve in parkour, like in the future, let's say? Your biggest dream
Well,
or something?
my biggest dream for parkour, I would love for it to become an actual sport here in Canada. That would be
Hmm.
pretty cool because, every time you're out training, people come up to you and say, what the heck are you doing?" And you say, "Oh, well, I'm training parkour." And they're like, "What's that?" So you got to explain
Hmm.
everything to them, right? Because it's not really noticed here.
Hmm.
So I'd love for that to become an actual sport here like it is in some other countries. And I guess, of course, to be a professional full-time parkour athlete would be amazing too.
Yeah, to like get sponsored and everything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'd love that.
Yeah. I wish you the best. I'm sure you're gonna get it. It's just
Thank
practice,
you.
right? Yeah, you
Yeah,
continue. You're
yeah.
so young, you know, and then you get there.
The more work you put into yourself, the you can only end up with good things. So,
Yeah. Awesome. What is the best tip, or it could be many tips, that you would like to share with like either the parkour community or just people who want to start doing parkour, you know, like what would you tell
mhm.
them to help them or encourage them or yeah.
Okay, so I would say not to look at the end goal. Don't look at the end goal as much, but look at the baby steps. Because all the tricks, everything that you see the professional athletes do, it seems impossible. But they didn't just go ahead and just do it right from the get-go, right? They took the necessary steps to get there. So I would say always take the baby steps first. Break it down, learn all of the different avenues of the trick first. You could think of it as like a tree, right? Start with the little branches and then come down as you learn each individual one, you're going to end up with the end product that you're hoping for. So don't rush yourself and just take your time with it. It's a mental game as well as physical.
Thank you. That's a very good tip.
For sure. Yeah, that's the
I
way
have
I try to
another.
look at things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's much better because if you skip a step, then you can injure yourself, or then you can say, "Oh, it's too
Yeah,
difficult," and then you stop doing parkour. When
exactly.
maybe it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, maybe it's gonna save your life. Maybe it's gonna save someone's
Hmm.
life.
Yeah, it's like for Kong vaults or dive Kongs or stuff like that, right? You can always start off small and then like there might be this big gap you want to hit or something like that. And then eventually you'll be able to get over it once you start off small and then your mind, it's a lot of it's mental. And then once you break the mental game, you can move over to the physical game.
Right. Well, how many times or how many hours should a person practice to become very good like you, let's say?
Um, Really whenever you can fit in the free time. Like if you're at the very most basic level and you're wanting to learn parkour, you could really do it anywhere at any time. Just if you're, that's what another thing, the great thing about parkour, right? You don't have to be anywhere. You don't need anything specific to do it. So just go outside and work on your rolls. And if once you get to a level where you're kind of like tiring yourself on that day or whatever, um, then call it. But really do it whenever you can, honestly. That's kind of what I do
Mm.
is if I'm not doing anything, then I'll jump on the stairs, I'll try to get to the next step and do variations, one-legged jumps, whatever, right? So just excuse me, just work as much as you can, but have fun with it. It's that's still the point, of course, is just to really enjoy your environment and move through
Thank you. That's so good. I have
it.
another question because you
Yeah.
have a lot of snow, in Canada.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for sure.
do you train outside during winter? Yeah, you still do.
Yeah, not as much. Definitely it goes down like because a lot of the basics to parkour you kind of can't do with the snow. Like walls become hard to run up because you don't have a run up anymore. Rails become super slick. But I definitely still work on the balance or basics, I should say. Balancing, I'll shovel off the trampoline, I'll work on stuff there. Of course, I'm doing flips as well, so that makes it a lot easier for parkour is if you're working on flips in the winter time because then you got the snow, you can do it into there. But um, indoors, there's a lot of stuff you can do as well. So, like I said, on the stairs, I do a lot of jumps there or work on balance or various vaults here right inside the house. It's just about creativity, really. Yeah.
Mm. Right. Is it important to continue during winter to train inside? So, because that's what I tell everybody, I'm like, you need to continue. You need to
Yeah.
do these inside home videos. Like, we're
Hmm.
trying to do some ourselves with my company
Oh,
because,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, if everybody stops, then when spring comes, then they're like, yeah, they forgot everything, or like the body is not in shape, kind of. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I would say it's definitely still important, especially if you're not. Right now in winter, I'm definitely working out as much as I possibly can, a lot of calisthenic stuff. So if you're always be keeping your body moving and thinking about it for sure. There's a lot of stuff you could be doing indoors. It's just about kind of figuring out the steps to get to that. A lot of calisthenics work I would recommend too, just various things, anything you can come up with, use around the house, stuff like that.
Thank you. Maybe you have another thing you want to tell, or
I would say that parkour it's more than just a sport. It's a mindset too. It's a vision that you can have. It's really for me. it's not just like it's something I do, it's kind of my passion, it's my life. Once you start it might seem a little bit like training outside, of course, people look at you and they give you funny looks and stuff like that. Don't worry about what people think or how they see you, because if they understood what you were doing and stuff like that, don't be discouraged. A lot of when I first started out, I was really discouraged training outside because, people walking by, they see you, and then it just kind of it's that self-esteem, I think, that of just doing something different. People tend to not want you to do that. Like even my friends just kind of slightly mocked you, right? But once you get to the end goal, you start breaking goals and stuff like that. People kind of start to see it as something real. So don't be discouraged at the start. I really was for sure. But as you get into it, of course, it becomes more enjoyable.
Thank you so much, Jaydin. It's so helpful to the community, and I hope a lot of people are going to watch this video because what you do
Hmm.
is just amazing, and you have these great tutorials where you really break down each steps, so
Yeah,
anybody can learn anything, any move, any flips.
that's
This is
just it. Yeah.
amazing.
If
Yeah,
you want to learn
absolutely.
anything step by step, and you'll be able to achieve it for sure. It's not like anybody has a specific superpower or anything like that. We're all equal. So just take the steps and you'll get there for sure.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And please
Well,
tell us
thank you.
again, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I really definitely appreciate what you're working towards too with your classes and teaching people and getting the word out there. It's really important.
Thank you so much. And
Yeah,
please
for
tell
sure.
us again, your name or how we can find you on social
Yeah.
media or website and everything.
So my name's Jaydin Therrien. My YouTube channel is also Jaydin Therrien. I post parkour videos, challenges, sometimes the occasional vlog, but lots of edits. I do all the recording, um, editing, everything all by myself. And if you want to find me on my social platforms or Instagram, Snap, whatever, it's just going to be Jaydin Rules with a Z.
Thank you so much and have a good night. We'll see you soon, Jaydin.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Did you like my interview? Well, there are two more right here.